You're in contract. Congratulations. You're going to ask me, when do I get keys? Every transaction I do. I mean, we literally, the ink is barely drying, or the electronic ink, as it were. And I hear the question, when will I get keys? Which is always so funny because we've barely done any work on the actual, transaction to close it, to make everything come together. And I actually love that question. It's one of my favorites. But this video is designed to help you not lose your money and keep track of your money, not trying to scare you, but there are a few glitches that come along that I want you to be aware of. First, your deposit. Your deposit, when you write a contract, you say to the seller, look, I'm going to put some money in just to kind of guarantee that I'm going to do this deal with you. You don't get it if I decide to back out within my contractual rights. But I want to let you know I'm good for it and I got the funds, so I'm going to put it into escrow for you. Remember, an escrow is a neutral third party that manages the lender money, your money, the contract terms pertains to the actual title of the property, and kind of some extra third party stuff, but they are to remain a neutral third party, meaning they don't make decisions and, like, for instance, give your deposit to the seller, which they're not supposed to do until the transaction closes. They don't, but just saying that that's what I mean by neutral third party. Anyway, you are to give that 3% in the state of California of your offering price as a deposit to the escrow company. And you will hear from me, text messages, emails. I will tell you on the phone. You need to call the title company to verify the wiring instructions. Super important. You will hear it numerous times from me in all my videos and from me if you are in contract with me, because, not contract with me, but in contract where I'm helping you. You have to determine that those wiring instructions are real, and I will send them to you, and so will the title company. But how you do that is you call them. That's the only time. So much can be done by email and text messages and all that other stuff, but this phone call is super important. It is where you verify that your money is going to the intended recipients. That would be the title company. You call them and you go, hey, you sent me this information, and you verify it, and then you send it. Super important. I bought a laundromat a couple years ago, and I had the wiring instructions from the seller, their bank and their account number. And I was going to wire it in, and I was getting ready to go do that. And then I got another email from him. It sounded like him, but things were a little off. And I just kind of didn't really think much of it. I was just like, changing everything midstream. I'm not sure about that. So I contacted him, and sure enough, he said, nope, that wasn't me. Somebody had gotten into my email, followed the whole email thread of our conversations of this purchase, and then sent me bogus wiring instructions. And I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm hoping it will make you extra careful. And you know what? I could say that this would be in any situation when you're actually giving money to somebody, that this is how you verify it. You call them. Or, I actually texted him, but he said use the original information without naming the bank. That way we were, we kind of protected. Everything was fine. But man, did it scare me. When I was making out this list, I had 3 things. I was like, okay, your deposit, your inspections, and then, closing of escrow and kind of firming up the last of the sale. And I thought that was enough to kind of get you started if I'm in contract. And then I realized insurance. To really save some money or hang on to your money, as it were, I would say as soon as you get into contract, you've got confirmation the seller has accepted your offer or your counter offer, or wherever you are in the contract process, call your insurance company. Now, here in Santa Cruz County, because we have so many environmental things that happen here, you might want to talk to me about different insurance companies or brokers that I have on hand that can help you determine the best insurance company for you. For instance, in Aptos, I have a really good contact that knows that there's fire danger there, and they're really good in Aptos. And then I have some people that are really good in San Lorenzo Valley because they're aware of the nuances of those areas. I would say to call your regular car insurance company. That would be the big ones I'm not going to name here, but I would say they're probably not as good as the local guys. And I wouldn't tell you that any of them wouldn't counsel you in a disaster, because I can't say that about insurance companies, but there's some good local brokers here that work for big companies that know the area, and I would recommend them. And when you talk to them early on, you could probably work with them a little bit and maybe even possibly shop it a little bit. If you wait till the last minute, you either run into not being able to get an insurance policy, or you could run into a cost that you just weren't comfortable with. It just didn't seem right. It seemed very high, but you were so close to closing the transaction and getting your keys that you took that insurance policy and it cost more than you wanted to pay, or that you thought you needed to pay. And you're really stuck with it for a year, because you have to pay up front for the year when you're closing the transaction. So another way to be safe with your money would be to, after you get into contract, you get that deposit, then you actually start to work on your insurance. Now, inspections, there's really no way to save money per se on the inspections, but the inspection process is where you could actually save money, because you could possibly know about the work that's coming your way on the property. Now, I'm not saying you would get a home inspection to beat up on the seller on price, because that is a strategy that people use, good nor bad. I'm not making that call right here. What I'm saying is that when you get a home inspection or a termite inspection, you understand the costs of working on the house that you're buying. So don't skimp on the amount of inspections that you could make. Remember, anytime you ask somebody to come out and look at that property, please pay them for the time. That's the way to get the best people out there. If somebody is actually offering to do it for free, sometimes people will give me some advice on the phone or by email for free because they know me, they have a relationship with me. But if somebody's offering that to you, it's very often that they may do it in an attempt to get some work out of you and actually encourage you to spend too much money on the repair. But at the same time, maybe get that roof inspection. You would know how much you're going to spend, and then you could actually start saving for that. And if possible, maybe you could book that roof inspection quote, or that repair or re-roof, and book it and then save for it. And then you might get today's cost of booking that or actually redoing that roof. So inspections, while they might seem pricey, could be cheap in the long run, because they give you an idea of how much things are going to cost to get them repaired, and how much, kind of owning that house and the things that it needs are going to cost. And I think the more you know, really the less it costs you, because when you get into it and you're getting into a situation you don't know of, and all of a sudden you have a leaky roof and it's raining, you're going to pay more then to get it fixed than if you did it a different time. I hope that makes sense. I kind of went the long way around. Let me give you another example. I bought my house in 1994, got a home inspection, and the guy said, you're going to need a roof in 5 years. So we saved to put a roof on the house in 5 years, and we did. And we actually kind of used that home inspection as kind of our to-do list of some things that we wanted to tighten up in the house. And there was some other stuff we actually just wanted to replace, some of the plumbing and stuff like that. So I think inspections they actually cost you money, but I think they actually save you money. Now we're at closing. Your deposit is in, maybe your loan is approved. You've gone through all your physical inspections and you've done your due diligence on the property. You have your insurance in place and you're ready to close. I'm going to take you all the way back around again and say, now you're going to wire in the remainder of your down payment funds to the escrow company, and you need to call them again. you need to verify those wiring instructions, because now you're probably wiring maybe $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, and you want to make sure everything is exactly correct. This part's usually a little smoother because you already did your homework on the first time around, but always make a phone call to the escrow company right at the end. Any last minute questions you have about closing, or even maybe some of the costs that came up on the settlement statement that was given to you close to closing, that you will know and understand. Now, all these ideas and tips are in a buyer and seller guide that I'm going to link below. If you're watching on YouTube, you can email me, Michele at Michele Sells For You, and I will send you a copy. Or, of course, you can contact me and I'll help you with all of this. And then I'm going to link a contract explainer video. It's a little dry, but it has a lot of the contract nuances in there that you should know. Now, I have been working with this contract for over 20 years, and I will tell you, I still read it continually. Before you write your offer, while you're writing the offer, after you've written your offer, even in acceptance, and all the way up to close, I continually look at it. So I recommend this video. It kind of goes over the basics, and you can have it on hand where you can go, wait, I've got a question about that. And you can jump back into the video and see if it answers it. And of course, you can contact me. If you like this content, please subscribe, like, share, make comments. I'd love to hear from you. And of course, if you need anything, contact me, 831-818-7372, Michele at Michele Sells For You, and I'm here for you. Bye.